Gerald Ford entitled his autobiography, A Time to Heal. In his short term as president, he faced the enormous challenge of healing a nation wounded not only by Watergate, but by the Vietnam War as well. Tonight's Eye on America begins a half-century ago as the 38th president sets out to heal one of the wounds of that war. Here's Jim Axelrod.
April 1975, the chaotic final days of the Vietnam War.
And there were 3,000 babies that had been fathered by U.S. servicemen. And Dad felt very responsible that he wanted to get those babies out.
Steve Ford's dad was President Gerald Ford.
The word was, once the North got into Saigon, that these babies would be possibly slaughtered, killed.
President Ford moved urgently.
We will make a total effort.
Operation Babylift was born to fly more than 2,500 of those children to the U.S.
The first in the government-ordered airlift crashed in a rice paddy near Saigon just minutes after takeoff,
killing 78 of the nearly 250 children on board. President Ford was undeterred. The flights continued the next day, with cardboard file boxes repurposed into makeshift cradles.
Dad met the first plane, and one of the best pictures for me is seeing him carrying that first baby off the plane.
Twee Williams was on that flight. She was 5.
There's actually a picture of me reading a book to the little kid next to me, and I just look calm.
She was adopted by a couple in Portland, Oregon.
How quickly did you come to think of yourself as an American?
Pretty much probably right away. When your first memories are seeing people killed, those are things you want to leave behind.
10 years later, she made the under-18 national soccer team and then spent 8 years in the Army, built a construction company, and started a nonprofit that takes kids to Africa.
You need to pay attention to
She coaches soccer, track, and lacrosse. So close to her players, she's officiated weddings for 2 of them.
I understand the opportunities that I had being here in the U.S. I just wanted to serve.
A desire shared by plane loads of other kids brought here.
There's doctors in our group, there's lawyers, there's teachers. They're all touching other lives and making an impact. Not just in lives, but for America.
Recently, Steve Ford and Twee Williams had a chance to meet at the Gerald Ford Museum.
My dad would love her story. It would bring tears to his eyes to see what she's done with her life. Someone said to me, I'm not sure they'd come get those babies today. I think back on Dad, he had the moral clarity to go save those babies. And we had an obligation to do something to help them.
An obligation to do something. An old-fashioned idea still producing plenty of benefits for America a half-century later. For Eye on America, I'm Jim Axelrod in Grand Rapids, Michigan.